Personal and sensitive data needs to be in control. You need to make it secure as much as possible. Let us discuss some of the technical controls with respect to security, especially in relation with data privacy and personal data. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where we have been regularly on a daily basis discussing something or the other new in data privacy, and will continue to do the same. Let's first discuss what is data privacy. Data privacy is my right to choose. What personal information do I want to share? With whom am I sharing this information? What is the purpose of my sharing the information? And can he further share my information with anyone else? If yes, then with whom and why? An example of bank account opening. I fill in my details, but they also ask me to give a consent on dispatching my statements and my checkbook to my home. It automatically involves a third party. My choice, I may say no, I don't want you to dispatch, I'll come and collect. Therefore, I am telling them that they are not supposed to share my address and phone number with a third party. Right? So this process of taking my permission to collect my information and share a part of it or the entire of it with a third party is known as consent management. And data privacy brings in those rules and laws that help me protect my interest if in case I see that my data is being wrongly used or wrongly shared with anyone else. With data privacy, with data being on computers and hard disks, comes in information security. The basic principle of information security, two main things. One, CI, confidentiality, integrity, availability. Second, role-based access. So when we say confidentiality, integrity, availability, what we are saying is that my data needs to remain confidential. Only authorized people can see that data. It would stay encrypted. If possible, anonymize it so that even if it is stolen, the thief, the person who has access to my data now, is not able to open it, decrypt it, or combine those data packets, anonymized packets, and get the logical data out of it. You run continuous checksums on my data to make sure the integrity is maintained, it is not corrupted, and if in case it gets corrupted, then you have valid backups available so that you can bring in my data from your backups, and therefore you maintain the CI, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability of my data. Then comes the role-based access control, which is RBAC. Unauthorized access is not allowed. Unauthorized usage is not allowed. People are not allowed to disclose or erase my data. Data privacy user has rights. He has to decide when does he want his data to be erased from your systems, and not you unless you make it a part of your privacy policy. Right? And not all users to your systems should have the access to use my data. They can see the data, but they cannot use or manipulate my data, and that can be controlled by putting in the required IT policies. So what are the four broad areas under which the data can be made secure? Obfuscation. Obfuscation is where you are converting your data into something which is not clear. It is faded, it is unintelligible. Like I mentioned, you have anonymized it. You anonymized it, or you have pseudo-anonymized it. So the person who receives it does not actually get the data. He may get the broken parts, he may get all the broken parts, but he does not know which application to use to anonymize it. So he cannot even combine those parts and create the data. That is the level of security you can give to the information that is stored. Data minimization, again a new term you can say from privacy point of view. You need to collect only the minimum data that you need for processing for the relevant purpose. No extra collections. Very, very relevant and limited data. Data security, we just spoke about CI tried in the previous slide. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability needs to be maintained. And then you have to use, a lot of options are available, which are privacy enhancement techniques. Things like anonymization we talked about, things like encryption that we use even otherwise without data privacy coming into being, and encryption has been there for ages. Without the encryption key, people cannot decrypt the data. Without anonymization algorithms and the right tool with which anonymized or pseudo-anonymized. So anonymization means you are replacing some part of data with illegible part of data. I have a video on anonymization and you can get into the details through that video. And pseudo-anonymization means that in those parts, instead of putting some relevant data, you are actually putting pseudonyms, right? So a person who gets the data, first of all, he does not have the same tool, and then even if he is able to somehow manage to break into your data, he won't understand because there are pseudonyms inside your data, Right? So it is not, he cannot make out the real sense of the data. Okay, and then the most important part of data security is destruction of data. But why destroy data? Let it be there. No, you can't have my personal information with you forever, and it may change also. You should go through my video on the user rights, where all these rights that I as a user have when you collect my personal information. But what is the stage when you would destroy my data? When I as a user request you for data deletion. Right? You may destroy a part of it when I ask you to amend my data. Right? But deletion means you have to delete my entire record or records that you have. You have a privacy policy which says that the PII has to be deleted at a particular time, which means that you are collecting my data for a process, and once the process is over, after 30 days, after 15 days, after 45 days, you would delete my personal information that is with you. GDPR has that as a part of the compliance system, that you have to remove PII if promised at the time of collecting, and you have to specify that at the time of collecting itself or through your privacy policies. And when the redemption period expires, you have decided that this data is to be retained for 6 months, right? So then you have to delete it after 6 months. So these are the times when you have to delete the data. How would you destroy these data? How would you destruct them? Right? Physical data, you can use a paper shredder. One of the very good methods, you can just dispose of, and I gave that example in another video where a hospital disposed of old patient record to a garbage person. Right, the admin might have earned some money as well from there. He sold those good-looking documents to a paper plate making company who made paper plates and supplied them back to the same hospital. So all the personal information, including medical record of the patients, were out in the public in the same hospital itself. So it is better that you shred your data. Okay, you melt it or you burn it. Now shredding is through the shredder. Burning is, we all know, you just need to put fire and put your data in it. Melting is another process of destroying your physical records safely, where you say take a large container with water in it, boil the water to a very high temperature and put all your documents into it. Right? Those paper would melt in that hot water. So that means again paper get destroyed, your personal records on that paper have also got destroyed. So melting is another good option of destroying your personal data if it is on a physical form. If it is in an electronic form, in IT, you have options like deleting and overwriting. You delete data and then you overwrite it. If you do that for 7 times, you are considered safer. It is safer mostly in case either it's handled by a tool who's professionally doing it, because then the tool is recording the blocks from where it is deleting. It is meant to be doing delete, record the blocks, overwrite. But if it is general that you have your D drive and you say I have deleted one file and I have created another file, right? That is not destroying, because that first file would be still available in the file allocation table somewhere on your disk. And 7 pass of deleting and overwriting is something that finally helps you ensure and is considered the safest method, provided it is done properly, not deleting one block and overwriting the other block. Or you go through a very interesting thing, but you have to make sure that this happens with the entire disk, not with blocks. You go for disk degaussing. Disk degaussing destroys the disk for all future usage, along with deleting and erasing all the data that was there on the disk. So disk degaussing is something that you can do. There's a big challenge when it comes to IT and electronic in terms of removing data. All organizations mandated by compliance take backups, and all backups are stored. Some organizations keep daily backups for 10 to 15 years. Some keep weekly or monthly copies. Some keep yearly copies. But for sure, a copy of your data that was valid a year back would be available in some form in the organization. Right? And it is not possible that you restore the entire data of last year, open up the database and delete records of a particular user. Right? So what is important there is that you document the purpose of the old backups. That is compliance. You have to also document whenever you are required to recover it, and document and display that policy clearly, that I am going to use old backups only when compliance needs me to show them an old data and its recoverability. Otherwise, it is dangerous to say that you on the face of it you have deleted your latest records, but you have backups available with you. You need to be very careful with that, because then you still have data that you have otherwise mentioned as deleted. So update your documents properly, and whenever you do a restoration, there could be a log, there could be a report submitted to compliance that today we have restored an old data pertaining to this date for this purpose, so that your records are well managed and your privacy and compliances are taken care of. So that's what I had on the how you would take control of the physical and electronic data that you have. I hope you like this content, so please press the like and bell icon, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share your feedback in the comments box. Thank you.